Hey guys, welcome back to Soft Originals official YouTube channel, and today is another exciting edition for us to learn. Okay, so if you have yet not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do well to subscribe to my YouTube channel, because from our metrics we can see that most of our viewers who watch our video have not subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, and that is a very bad idea. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, click on the notification bell icon to get notified anytime we come online, we upload any exciting video. Before we start up today's episode, I will give a big shout out to Untitled Waswani. Yes, Untitled Waswani, for supporting me on my Patreon page, pledging some little amount to support this channel. I am very appreciated with that. So I give you a big shout out, and that encourages me to do more. All right, thank you guys. So on today's video, we're going to concentrate on a little bit on what we were building. So previously we saw how we could build this, and quite unfortunate, we were able to do something out of this. So we created a list from a class, and we call the class right here, and we can just go ahead and then add up a lot of projects out here for them to display. So in today's video, we're gonna build up the create project, which is where you add a project name and all that. We're gonna do that, right? We're gonna do that, and also we're gonna try and see if we can do the splash screen of this project, and also how we can add a functionality to this new project guy for it to take effect in terms of adding a new project. So that is a very interesting lesson we're going to tackle today. So if you want to get more on this, we just have to stay glued to this channel. Also, this project source code will be posted on my Patreon page, so all my patrons will be getting access to the full file or to the full source code on my Patreon page. All right, so guys, with no further ado, enough of the talking, let's get to work. All right, so from our previous video, we saw how we could create this page, and it was quite awesome and interesting. All right, so today what we're actually gonna do is we're just gonna try to create a functionality for this project widget right here. So from this project widget, I'm just gonna try and add a const to this, and also I'm just gonna wrap this project with a widget, and I can use an inkwell for this. You can use a gesture detector, and that will actually work as well. So in my case, I am using an inkwell, and inkwell, it has an on press function that is on tap. So on tap function, I'm just going to add something here, and what I'm trying to pursue here is anytime I click on this button, I want to do something new. Anytime I click on this button, I want an action to be taking place, which of course I want to create a new project in here. So let's see how we can structure this. Okay, so I will quickly just cut one of these, and I'll just delete this from there. Save your project, and you see nothing from this section. That looks much more interesting. When you hard reload this, you will just see that you have nothing right here. This makes it much more interesting. Excellent. So how can we do this? Let's come down here. Now from our list view here, that is, we have a list view here that returns out a card, and that card is calling from this inkwell, right? So within this new project here, we just have to add something here, right? So what we actually gonna do is we just have to say that so we just refer back to the name, that is the dummy p. So we're just gonna say dummy p, you see, dot add. So we're just gonna add something, and all we're gonna add is from the project. So what I cut, I'll just paste it right here. So I'm just adding from my dummy. So let me just quickly try to end this statement, end this function. So I'll just reformat this for you to see how it works. It actually works. So I set the dummy p dot add this dummy project, and then I specify the title, I specify the image, and I specify the subtitle as well. So now when I save this, it's actually not gonna work, right? Because here is empty, but when I click on this after a successful run, when I click on this, it's not gonna add it to this. The main reason for this is we have to just put this into a set state function, right? So let's just cut this and let's add a set state, and also inside here within the set state, let's just paste this. Perfect. So let's see what we have here. There is an error here, which of course we have to, fix it, right? All right, so just have to take this out. Perfect. All right, so let's do it this way. Just want to cut this from here, and inside here I just want to set a state just like this, and I just paste this right here, then I just end it up there just like that. All right, so just like this, save your project and make sure you have a successful savings. So the previous one we added first now is here. When I just click on add again, you see it automatically adds a list to this dummy p, and it is very good for us to know the features of this system, at least know how we will be able to create up some new functionalities to this particular project. All right, so whilst we've gotten this feature working perfectly fine, I'll just quickly hot reload this and everything is gonna go. I try it one more time. All right then. Okay, so everything is gone, so I click on new, and there you go. I have it right here as what I have here. Perfect. Now how can we try to build up a new project screen? This is quite interesting. It doesn't matter how you want to do this. It doesn't actually matter. It depends on how you want to do it. Many people have their own ways of doing this, and I really love to do it on my own. So I'm just gonna go ahead and then create a new screen, which is a .dat file, and I'm just gonna say create project .dat. Perfect. And I'm just gonna create a stateless widget for now, and I'm just gonna say create project just like this. And because we are using material package, we just have to import that, right? So just you say import package material Flutter material.dat. That makes it looks much more perfect. All right then, my friends, so let's now return a scaffold just like that. Save your project. All right then, so let's go back to the create screen. Now on this tab, we just have to comment everything in here just like that, and we just have to open up a new screen. So we're just going to say navigator dot push, and now we're just going to push, and the context is going to be a material page route. Perfect. And the builder is going to be a context and also it's gonna refer to our create project screen, right? Okay, so let's just close this and let's try to save this right there, and I would like to reformat this as well. Perfect. Now when I click on this, it will just bring me to this screen, right? Perfect. So let's get to work. Now with a create project, I think I have some colors out here. That is the background color here. I just copy that. Then I just go to the create project. Inside my scaffold here, I'll just paste this guy here, and there you go. Every color changes to the default one. So I'm just gonna add up an app bar to this. particular project, and I'm just going to specify the title to be a text, and this text is actually going to say create new project. So I'm just going to say new project, right? All right, so with this project, I'll just center the title to be true. Perfect. And also I would like to set the color to be this, actually to be this color, right? So I'll just copy this and then come to the app bar, and then I'll just paste this right here. So let's add a const to this. Perfect. Sorry for that. Okay, so what can we do from this section? Whilst we have this, we just actually have to continue from here. So with my project, from what I can see here, I will just add an action to this. So let's just add an action, and this action is going to be a floating action button dot extended, which of course I really love that. So within this, I'm just going to actually add this, and with a label, I'm just going to add an icon, right? So I'm just going to add an icon first. So let's just add an icon, and this icon is actually going to be icons. So it's actually going to be icons.import. So I'm just going to see if it's going to give me a suggestion. Okay, so I actually need something like you know, a container or a box or anything like that. Okay, so let's say package. Let's try to use package. Let's see if we will be getting any suggestion from this. Okay, so I just gonna say import just like this for now, and yeah. Okay, all right, so let's see the icons we can add. I just want to see if I can get a suggestion from this. Okay, so I this open, some kind of, you know, open or anything. Okay, so this folder open is kind of cool, right? So I'm just going to use this folder open, and I'm just going to save that. So I will be getting a button here, just a regular button, but with this button, I'll just try and you know, wrap this button, this icon, which is this widget, that is the label. I'm just gonna wrap this with a column, right? So first of all, I'm just gonna go in for more action. Okay, so let me just save this. Let me close this and open it up again. Make sure I get a suggestion right there. So I'm just gonna wrap this with a row instead. And what I'm actually going to say is I'm just going to try and add up a text, and this text is actually going to be import. All right, this looks much more perfect. So let's save this and let's see if we don't get any errors. We are good to go. So there you go. That looks amazing. All right then, so what we're actually going to do is try to wrap up this whole, you know, floating action button with a padding, and the padding is actually going to help us to, you know, get something like this, which of course is kind of cool, and I really love it, right? Okay, so what we're actually going to do is with the extended button, we want to set the background color to this const color, because we just have to make sure we are familiar with what we are doing, right? Okay, perfect. All right then. So there you go. We have this guy here, and I am very, very in love with this, right? Okay. Now we can continue to go ahead and then add a padding to be 16, and that is actually going to shrink it down a little bit. And do you know, funny thing, we have to set it to symmetric so that we can specify the horizontal instead to be 18. Then let's see how it actually works. So meaning the horizontal is actually not what we need, but we need the vertical. Perfect. So now with the vertical, everything looks much perfect, and I really love this. Excellent job done. Now I will prefer not to add anything here as a title, because that is what I can see from mine King Master app I'm referring to, right? All right guys, so now let's come to the body here. Let's try to specify a body, but first of all, let's add a const to this. Sorry guys, I'm having some code, and it's really messing me up. Sorry guys. All right guys, so sorry for that. All right, now we have to specify the body, right? So with the body, we just have to try to return a single child scroll view. Perfect. Then within this single child scroll view, we're just gonna specify the child to be a column, and this column can actually contain two things. So the children is going to be containing an expanded widget, and this expanded widget is actually going to contain a container. All right, so let's first return a container for this guy. All right, then let's try to add up another expanded widget, and let's return a container as well. Perfect. That looks much more perfect. All right, so whilst we have this extended files, we just have to divide them. So with the division, I'll just go ahead and set a color to this. I just want to do this along with you, because I just want to I want all of us to actually try something out, and I think it's a very good sign. So let's remove this single child scroll view. Then there you go. So we just have to do some little division here. So with this first expanded, we just have to add a flex, and this flex automatically is being added by 1, so we just give this 2. So that is actually going to divide this into, yes, so let's make it 3. Okay, so this is actually telling me to make it 5. All right, and that looks much more interesting. All right guys, I want to grab some bottle of water. I think the cough is too much. I'll be back. All right guys, so thank you very much for wasting your time waiting for me. So let's go ahead and then start doing something. So This red guy is going to be where it's actually going to contain, our text fields, our aspect ratios and all that, right? And this container is actually gonna, the child is actually gonna be a floating action button dot extended, and I would like to add the on press of this, and then with a label, I'll just add a label called create, right? So I'm just gonna say it's gonna be a text, and I'll just say create, just like this. Let's try to save this, and there you go, we have the create right here. So let's try to wrap this whole thing again within a container, right? And we just have to specify the width of this container. So we're just gonna say media media query dot of context, and what we're actually gonna say is we're just gonna specify the width. So this is actually gonna extend the whole thing for us, and that is very, very interesting. Yes, so we just have to try to specify the height as well. So with the height, I will go for 100. So yeah, there you go. So let's see 10. I think 10 is kind of cool. All right, so what I'm actually gonna do is I'm just gonna remove the height, then I will just try to wrap this whole container within a padding, and I'll just set the padding to be 18, right? Okay, let's just save it and let's see what happens. All right, so that looks much more perfect, but let's try to add up a little more flex, like 6, and let's see what actually happens. Okay, so with the height of this, we can actually increase the padding of this to be maybe 25, and that is actually gonna work. Actually, that is gonna work perfectly fine. So I think 25 is kind of cool, and let's make it 22. All right, so I think 22 is kind of cool. Excellent. And with the width, I can either I really love this, or I love to use this, right? Okay, so I'm just gonna go in for my JC color picker. So I have JC. Okay, so there you go, I just have it here. So I'll just open up my JC color picker, and I'll try to add up an icon. Sorry, I'll just try to add up a color which suits the King Master. Okay, so let's actually play along with the color red, right? So I'm just gonna go here with the text. I'm just gonna style it a little bit. I'm just gonna say text style, and I'm just gonna say font size, let's make it 25. Let's see how it actually works. Okay, so I think 25 is quite interesting, so let's make it 20. I think 20 is quite interesting. And also with a floating action button, we just have to specify a background color. So I'm just going to say colors.red, and with this red, I'm actually going to give it a strength, like I'm just going to dim it a little bit. So I'm just going to give it like 50. Let's make 500, sorry, let's make it 700. So it's just gonna dim a little, and yeah, I think that looks much more perfect. That's more, yeah, it's kind of cool, but I can actually change the color anyhow I want to do it, but I actually want to maintain this for now. So with this, I'll just take this off and save my project again. Now I'll get a blank screen. That looks much more perfect. Now the child of this is actually going to be a column, right? And this column is going to return some children, and this children. The first one is going to be a text, and I'm just going to say project name, something like this. And the second one is actually going to be a text field, and this text field also I'm just going to leave it like that, and I'm just going to add a sized box. And within this size box, I'm just going to specify the height to be 10. Let's save this and let's see what we've done so far. Okay. So this means we have a very interesting project we are working on here. So actually I'm just going to add a size box here and see how it's actually going to separate this. Okay, so let's make this 40.0. Okay, this looks much more amazing, right? So now let's add a style to this using a text style, and let's specify the color to be colors.white. Perfect. Then I think we're good to go. So let's just specify the size of it, that is the font size. Let's give it a 25. I think 25 is kind of cool. All right, so let's make it 20. I think 20 is kind of cool. All right, so with a text field, we just have to add some it has a sort of decorations and all that. So first thing first, I'm just gonna add decoration, and that is going to be outline border, right? And this outline border, okay, so let's say I'm just going to use input border decoration. All right, a minute guys, let me just check this right here. Just want to show you something. Just try to hold the Alt and click on this text field. Let me just remove this. All right, so hold Control to see the things you can actually use from here. So it has a lot of things, and we can add the text input. I'm just trying to learn with you guys, right? It's not something like I know and I'm doing it, and no, let's all learn together. I believe in learning more than expressing myself. So let's just try to learn from here. So it has some sort of keyboard types and all that. So when you take a good look at all these functionalities, it has a lot of things, which of course is very very interesting, right? So we have this on change, it just have some on change parameters, on editing complete and all that, on submit and all that. So now, whilst we've gotten this text field, we just have to try to add up some decoration. So now the decoration is going to be an input decoration. Yes, and within this input decoration, we can then add a hint text, right? And this hint text is actually going to be a text. So we're just going to say enter project name. Come on. All right, so now you can see a hint text right here, right? Perfect. Now we can actually add up a content padding to this, and we're just gonna use edge insert, dot symmetric. And when we are talking about symmetric, we can specify the vertical, and I'm just going to use 10.0, and we just go in for the horizontal 20.0. And what this actually does is it actually tries to give you a pattern of whatever you want to do. So now let's try to add up one thing, that is the border. So the border is actually going to be an outline border, outline input border, And this outline input border can actually contain a border radius, and this border radius can be, all. Let's use all for now, and let's say radius, yes, dot circular, and let's try to add it up, 32 pixels on the radius. And now, as you can see, it has a nice sort of sorry, it has some nice sort of border radius right here. And also, let's try to add up one more thing, and I would like to say, after this border radius, let's try to add enable border. And this enable border, we're just gonna specify the outline input border again, and within this outline input border, we're just gonna declare the border size. And in this border size, we're just gonna call the border size widget, and inside this border size, we just have to specify the color. So this is where we're just gonna use colors dot white, right? And also we can just specify the width as well, and this width I would like to use 1.0 here. Right now, you see everything is quite interesting now. This makes it much more interesting. All right then, so what I'm actually going to do is just try and add up one more thing. So I'm just going to set up a border radius to this, and I'm just going to say border radius dot all, and I just have to specify the radius I need. So I'm just going to say radius dot circular, and I'm just going to make it 32.0 as well. All right, so this looks much more interesting, and after this I will just try to add a focus as well. All right, so I'll just try to add a focus to this. Let me just reformat this. I just want to see everything here. Or we can just start to fix this const modifiers and all that. So perfect. That looks much more interesting and amazing. Okay, now let's add a focus. I want to add a focus to this. Okay, so I'll just add a focus border first, and this focus border is actually going to be an outline input border, and within this I just have to add a border size, right? Yes, we just have to specify a border size because the border size is actually going to help us to refer to the size we need. We can customize this. So far as Flutter is very easy to customize, we can do a lot of things from this. So with the border size, we're just gonna call the border size again. Okay, and inside this border size, we're just gonna specify the color, and I'm just gonna say colors.white. Perfect. And I'm just gonna specify the width to be 2.0. Perfect. So let's just save this, and let's see what we have here. So there you go. Now I'll just love to add up a border radius as well. So I'll just say border radius dot all, and I'm just gonna say radius dot circular, and I'm just actually gonna add 32.0 pixels. All right, so now you can see everything is quite interesting here. Inside our hint text, we can also add our hint style, and this is actually going to be a text style, and we can actually specify the color, and the color is going to be colors.gray. Perfect. And we just save it, and we have the gray color in there. That looks much more perfect. And also with the decoration, it adds a lot of stuff. So you can actually add it to this project, and you know, you can go ahead and then add a lot of things to this, and which of course, due to my condition and you know, I'm really having some challenges here, so I want to quickly wrap up and we just move forward. So this video is not going to be a very long video. So what I'm actually going to do from here is just wrap this padding with this text field with a padding. There you go. So I'll just try to use 18 here, just like this. And from the King Master, what I can see here, I can see after this it has some sort of aspect ratio here. So I'm just going to add up a text, just a normal text, and I'm just going to say aspect ratio, just as I can see from my phone. So there you go. I have the aspect ratio, so I can just style it. Perfect. All right, so I think I have it here. Let's work with the font size. Let's make it 18. All right, so I have to align this to the beginning of everything. So within the column, we just have to use the main axis. That is going to be main axis dot start, main axis alignment dot start. Perfect. Let's see how it goes. So instead of using the main axis, let's use the cross axis instead. So we're just going to say cross axis. Perfect. All right, so there you go. Now from this text project here, let's wrap it up with a padding. Let's make the padding 18. Okay, and same thing for the aspect ratio as well. So let's just wrap this with a padding. Let's make it 18. Excellent. Now with the aspect ratio, I think we have you know, we have to go by a row into 2 sections. So let's do that. Now I will just wrap this up with a const, just add up the const, and I'll just try to, you know, reformat this code to see whatever I'm doing clearly. All right then, so after this guy here, I'll just add up a row widget, and this row is actually going to be the aspect ratio. So I'm just going to specify the children, and the children is actually going to be, you know, an icon button. All right, so with the on press, I'm just going to leave this to be a blank icon, and so I can even return a container instead. Let's return a container, and this container, we just have to specify the width and then the height. So I'll just say the width is actually going to be maybe 70. Let's make it 100, and let's specify the height to be, you know, maybe 120, something like this. Then let's specify the color as well. Let's make it colors dot, you know, how do I say this, brown, which color, like black, like this color. Good. And I have one down here, which of course that is not where I need it, right? So I'm just gonna cut this row widget here, just gonna cut this, and I'll just come after the aspect ratio right here, just paste it right in here. So guys, undo that. So you just have to add it. I think it is 0, right? Okay, so from the aspect ratio here, you can just add it right here. So why? Okay, so you just have to go up here to see what we have here. What is the actual problem here? Let's return a row. Perfect. Then let's see. Wow, what is actually working? What is actually happening here? Because we are coming from a column, and from the column we have this, and we have this padding right here, and we have the size box, we have another padding, and we can add a row. So I don't know the reason why we don't have. Okay, so let's try to use a wrap and let's see. All right, guys, I don't actually know what is happening here, but I think I am facing a lot of challenge now. I have a cough and I have a cold, and it's actually, putting a lot of pressure on me. So I'll just love to rest it, but before I do that, I'll just add a text editing controller right from here. So I'm just going to say, let's just convert this to a stateful widget now. Let's try to add a text editing controller, and let's call this text editing controller project name, and it's going to be text editing controller, just like this. And we just have to come down. Okay, so what do we have here? Just have to move it from here and just bring it here. Right, perfect. Now let's come to the text field here, then let's add a controller that is going to be create, I think, is it new project? What was the name I gave to this project name? So just copy that, let's add it to this project name right guy here. So where is it? There you go. Excellent. Okay, so what do we have here? I don't know the reason why this is actually okay. So the const is actually the problem to the whole thing, right? The const is actually the whole thing. So we can then actually go ahead and then we just add up our row here. It's now gonna work because the const was actually messing things up. So we can just specify the children, and now we can use a container, and we specify the height to be 100 and the width to be 120, and we specify the color to be colors dots. So we just decided to use this color. Perfect. So there you go, we have this awesome color, and I'll just wrap this guy with a widget, with a padding. Yes, and there you go. I would like to use the padding to be 18 for this, and that is going to be, the vertical. Okay, I think this is kind of cool. So let's try to modify this. I need this to the width to be 80. Okay. Oh, okay, sorry, I need the width to be 80. I think the width should be 100 instead, and the height should be 120. Sorry guys, I think my code is giving me a lot of pressure, which of course I have to take care of that. So with this container, I just have to decorate it. So I just have to add a decoration that is going to be box decoration, and inside this box decoration you're just gonna specify border radius. So I'm just going to add up maybe 20.0 radius to this. Now it's actually going to curve the whole thing. So the color don't need to be here, so I'll just have to clear out the color, just cut the color from here, and I'll just bring the color inside the decoration, just right here, just like that, and I have a very clean border radius from here. So what I'm actually going to do is very simple. I'm just gonna try and copy this several times, which of course we're just gonna end the stream right away. So I'm just gonna paste it several times, and there you go. We have this guy here. So we have to work within this as well, and I'd love to end here because of my time and my condition. We will continue tomorrow and we fix this issue. My name still remains Ikesoft Original, and if you have yet not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do well to subscribe to my YouTube channel for more exciting videos. On our next upcoming video, what we are going to do is we're just going to create the aspect ratio. We create a project name, and as soon as we click on create project, it's actually going to add it up here for us. We are building the UI first, then we add up the functionalities. And I'm hoping to use a Firebase for the back end or SQLite for the back end as a local storage. All right, guys, I give a big shout out to my patron, Anket Waswani, and I am very happy supporting me on this channel. The link is in the description below. If you want to support me on my Patreon page, I will be really much happy for that. Also, I have my social media handles, placed down there inside the comment section, inside the description section. You can check it out, and everything is going to be quite awesome. If you have yet not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do well to subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you won't be missing anything. Reminding you once again, this project source code till where we are now will be updated on my Patreon page. Thank you very much, and until we meet again, have a nice day, and Ikesoft Original is out.